What's going on, guys? So this is just like a little breakdown video if you're sort of new to less lethal launchers or modding things and all that. I haven't really done a video like this before. This is all the stuff that I've sort of amassed in the past, I guess like half year, like 6 months or so. I've had some of this stuff for a while. Some of the things are new, but I'll just do a sort of quick breakdown of everything I have on this table. I have BB guns, but those, I mean, it's a BB gun, so you can have your own opinion on BB guns and stuff if they're viable as a self-defense option or not. But anyways, I'm gonna clear off some of these launchers or paintball markers. I'm gonna clear them off the table, and I'll show you which ones are pretty much like good to go if you just want to buy a less lethal launcher and you don't want to modify anything. You just want to buy it and use it, and it has I'll let you know the power ranges that I've gotten out of these, and I have a lot of videos on all these things on this table, so I'll be right back. All right, so I cleared off a lot of stuff over there. So these are basically less lethal launchers that are marketed as less lethal launchers that you could use just straight out the box. You don't have to do any modifications to them. You just throw in a CO2 and start firing. That's basically all you have to do with these. I'll start with the lowest power one that I have. This is the Burna SD. It does anywhere from 10 to 14 joules of power. It uses 12, well, mine uses 12 gram CO2s because I have this adapter, but typically uses 8 gram CO2s because the normal one doesn't have this. They have an XL boost thing that's like $50 extra. It makes the barrel kind of longer, and that'll let you use 12 gram CO2s. 12 gram CO2s are very common. You can find them almost anywhere. Walmart, Big Five, online on Amazon. You can find 8 grams on Amazon pretty easily. It's a little bit harder to find 8 gram CO2s in Walmart or like at Big Five or Bass Pro Shops or Dick's Sporting Goods or wherever you can get CO2. Paintball stores will have 8 gram CO2s. At least the ones in my area, they have them. So yeah, 10 to 14 joules. Kind of expensive, $380. It is an American company, so you're kind of paying for that American made or American assembled product right here. And customer service is pretty good. Mine has broken on me. I was quick firing with this, and the firing valve pin broke. So I mean, it could be could have just been my fault. This is like a 2.5-year-old launcher. But yeah, this one, I liked it when it worked. It doesn't work anymore, and since I've kind of like started messing with all these other things, I'm probably not going to go back to this. But it's the most compact one out of all these, and yeah, it's pretty reliable, and it has some good features and stuff. I'm sure you've seen these in other videos. But yeah, this is the Burna SD. Typically, it's like $380 for the pistol and a little like case and some other things. This is the Salt Supply S2. On a normal like 70 degree, 80 degree day Fahrenheit outside, this does about 20 joules of power. It's obviously bigger than the Burna SD. It uses 12 gram CO2s. You can use nylon balls, rubber balls, pepper balls, aluminum balls, a lot of stuff. You cannot use shaped ammunition for it. So like stuff that's shaped like a capital D in the English alphabet, can't use it in this. You cannot use it in this. And this can also use pepper balls and nylon balls and rubber balls. I've used aluminum balls in this, but it doesn't work that great just because of the way this is designed. So yeah, 10 to 14 joules of power, 20 to 25 joules of power, depending what type of ammo you're using and stuff. It's pretty much my favorite right now for a less lethal launcher with no modifications or anything. Just, you know, stock out the box, rip open the box and shoot it outside. And this was $230. They have a couple bundles on the Salt Supply website where you get this and an extra magazine, or this with an extra holster, for $250, I believe. This is an eBay light. This was not with the Salt Supply S2. So yeah, it's a good launcher. It's a little bit big, but it's powerful. I usually just have it in my car or in a sling bag. I don't really have a way to have this in a holster, like inside waistband holster or outside waistband. In the state that I'm at, you can't really brandish these in public unless you're going to actually use it to in a self-defense situation. And I can't have a black one. I should have bought like a yellow or white one, but you know, it is what it is. And then, so this is the Burna TCR. These are from the same company, the Burna SD and the Burna TCR. This is very expensive. This is like $600. They used to make, this was originally a Tipman TCR. Tipman is a paintball company. This is a Tipman Tipex. They make a bunch of other launchers and stuff, but basically Burna bought patent to this. They were able to make it, you know, with their brand on it. This is discontinued from Tipman now. It's really hard to find a Tipman TCR. I added this. This doesn't usually come on here, and I made this able to run shaped projectiles. So it's a piece you can buy. You can see down there. Let me turn on my light really quick. You can see in there, there's a hole, and that hole looks like a backwards capital D. So I can stick, instead of only using round projectiles like balls, I can use shaped projectiles. An example would be like MCS Devastators, or BK Kinetics, or First Strike rounds, I guess would be like the normal thing. So you need to put that in here to be able to shoot shaped projectiles. But normally this just has ball ammo, and it uses 12-gram CO2s also. And this opens right here, and you can put a 12-gram CO2 in here. So this is like $600. Every once in a while they're on sale, or you can get like a bundle or something, but they're still pretty much like $600 plus tax. So it's not cheap. When this was a Tipman TCR, it was about $350. So yeah, you can buy other barrels for this. It's not necessary, but you can buy longer barrels for this. You just have to match the threads to accept it. This is an 11-inch long barrel, so you could probably use a 10-inch barrel, and it would probably go to about here. But you probably want to use an 11 or a 12 or a 14 max. There's not really any gains from using like a 16-inch barrel or 20-inch barrel. You're just going to make this really long. And it does have an adjustable stock. You just, hold on really quick. You just push this button back here, and you can extend the stock. So it's a nice marker. I haven't had any problems with it. I had it tuned up too high, and I had an issue where I blew an O-ring. But I've had this for almost the same amount of time I've had this. These are my oldest, less lethal markers. And I've had these since like 2022. And yeah, like if you're familiar with a Tipex or with taking apart paintball markers or paintball guns, this is like a walk in the park. It's not that hard to maintenance or anything. So yeah, these are the less lethals. 10 to 14 joules, not adjustable. You can't adjust this. It's just always going to be 10 to 14 joules depending on weather, like temperature outside. This is about 20 joules, maybe like 16 if it's cold. If you're in warm weather, it's probably getting like 25 or 23 if you're using nylon balls. If I use aluminum balls, I get higher joule readings because of the heavy ammo. And then I've seen videos where people are using Grimberg Joule V3s, and they're getting like 25 joules out of this. And then every shot after the first shot gets weaker in all of these markers because it's using a 12 gram CO2, and you're losing power each shot. This is adjustable. You can't adjust this and you can't adjust this. Like, you can't make it hit lower and use less air, and you can't make it shoot faster and use more air. You can't do that with these. You can do that with this, and there's a set screw right there, or like a hex key screw right in the middle of the screen. You can adjust that with an Allen wrench. So when this comes out of the box, it's hitting like 12 to 14 joules and maybe 15, and you can turn this up to make it go like 20 to 30 or even 40 and 40 joules, which is pretty damn strong. 50 joules is probably around the max I've gotten out of this. 55 maybe. It just depends on the temperature and stuff. So if you do turn it up, you only have a 12 gram CO2. If you have the basic stock Burna TCR, you only have a 12 gram CO2 powering this thing. So every shot, if you have it turned up really high, every shot after the first shot's gonna go lower and lower and lower. And if you have it tuned to like 20 joules or whatever, you'll probably get a few shots at 20 joules, and then it's going to start going lower. So good rule of thumb is to be able to shoot it about 12 times, because they give you an extended magazine that holds 12 rounds. So this magazine, they give you one that, you know, it's a long magazine, 12 rounds. What I typically do with my TCR is I have it tuned where it can shoot 12 rounds on one CO2, and then that 13th or 14th shot may or may not fire. So I'm pretty much getting like 25 joules out of it most of the time, and then it'll keep going lower and lower and lower and lower because it's using a 12 gram CO2. So these are the ones that I have that you can just buy. You do not have to modify them. You don't have to do anything to them to make them better. There's really nothing you can do to them aside from this one to change the speed that it shoots. So yeah, $380, $230, upwards of $600 depending what you get. And now I'm gonna go over the modified stuff, and yeah, I'll be right back. All right, so these are all modified. I forgot to mention all of these markers are 68 caliber, so 68 caliber nylon balls, aluminums, whatever, 68 caliber nylon, aluminum, rubber, pepper balls, 68 caliber. This is also 68 caliber nylon, rubber, pepper, aluminum balls, whatever you can get that 68 caliber shaped ammo for that Burna TCR. So these are Umarex T4E HDP 50. They have a new version of this. It's just generation 2. So that's the model number. I put all these stickers on here. I dyed this dark green. It used to be orange. Those are about $100 depending where you buy it. You can probably get them online like all day, every day for about $100. The generation 2s, they're slightly different. They have a different style of puncture thing, but basically these run on 12 gram CO2s. This runs on 12 gram CO2. This runs on 12 gram CO2. This runs on 12 gram CO2. These run on 12 gram CO2. So all of these run on the same air cartridge. These are about $100. These are modified. When they're not modified, the generation 1s, they're typically 7.5 joules up to like 11 or 15 maybe. When they're modified, they can get up to about 25. And then yeah, since you're using a 12 gram CO2, that first shot's pretty good, and then it starts getting weaker and weaker and weaker. The way mine are, I have a new detent in here that holds the ball in the barrel so it doesn't fall out. That's just something you're gonna have to worry about if you just have the stock detent. I do not have a CO2 restrictor in here. I removed the valve block. So basically this is hitting full power on a 12-gram CO2, or if I have it hooked up on a giant tank or on a remote line. You can do a lot of stuff with these. You can put a large barrel on it. You can put a extended air chamber on the back. You can hook up like pipes and stuff and have like a large CO2 attached to it, and it's all self-contained. You can stick a like carbine kit on these. You can do a lot of stuff to these, but I would just kind of want to leave mine small. I don't want to make these like ginormous, like a giant shotgun or like a carbine. Because yeah, I want these to stay compact. I don't want these to get giant, because when you add stuff to them, it really does increase the power a lot. But this isn't supposed to be like a lethal like person killer. This is just supposed to be shoot a couple times and, you know, get out of whatever situation you're in if possible. So yeah, it has 6 shots. This is a speed loader. It doesn't normally come with this. I'm gonna take it off really quick. So this is a speed loader. It holds about 5 or 6 extra ammo, and it attaches to the Picatinny rail. So that's where you load your ammo, and you pull this follower spring and you attach it right here, and then I can load ammunition in here. It holds 6 rounds. There's no fast way to reload this. That's why I have these. So yeah, this uses 50 caliber balls. You can use aluminum, nylon, rubber, pepper, steel balls, whatever you want, pretty much. But this is, once you modify this, it's a modified paintball marker. So it is kind of advertised as a home defense. It's called home defense pistol. That's why it's called HDP, home defense pistol. So it is already sort of marketed as a home defense, like self-defense kind of thing. Depending what state you live in, it might be good or bad to have this colored like this. You might want to just keep it orange if you're in like a crazy state like mine, in California. But yeah, I'm planning just on keeping these home. Every once in a while I'll throw them in my car or truck, but I never plan on using them. I've never had any situation where I've had to even remotely think of using these, or any of the Burna or Salt Supply or Burna TCR or anything. So yeah, $100, very, very moddable. You can stick barrel extensions, air chambers. You can run a line on here, have it all hooked up, self-contained, put a carbine kit. You could do a lot of stuff to these, and that'll just basically up the power like higher and higher. So you can get up to like 100 and something joules out of this, but that's kind of lethal at that point. You'll probably want to keep anything like at 50 or lower to make it less lethal. This is the TR50. It's from the same company, Umarex, 50 caliber. It has a 6-round magazine. You can buy these magazines. These are pretty cheap. I think 2 of them is like $10. So this gun, or this paintball launcher, was $100. This is the Generation 1. They make a Generation 2 now. The Generation 2 has fiber optic sights right here, iron sights, like this. So they kind of have a pretty good, you can get your target on sight faster, or if you're in low light conditions, you can see easier with that fiber optic sight. And it has a different puncture valve where it can do like a quick release of the gas and stuff. But yeah, this is like $100. You can also get barrel mods, make the barrel super long. You can put an air chamber on the back. You do have to like drill plastic and stuff. And you can also run a gas line out the back or out the bottom, have it all attached with pipes and, 1/8 inch brass pipes or whatever, have a big air tank on it, have it all self-contained, turn it into a carbine where it's like a 3-foot long little mini pistol. You can do a lot of stuff with this, but I just want to keep mine as compact as possible. And in doing that, I'm kind of limiting my power, but like I already know that. So pretty much this is a little bit weaker than the HTP in its basic form. I pulled the valve block out of here. So this was the normal 7.5 joule version. Since I pulled a valve restrictor out of here, it gets up to like 18 or 20 on the first shot with the CO2, and then it goes lower and lower and lower. I like this one because it's easy to reload. like with these, you get about 6 shots the way they are, with no valve restrictor in here. So on one 12-gram CO2, I get 6 shots out of this, and then like 7 and 8 are pretty weak. With this one, it needs to have a valve restrictor or a CO2 restrictor in here. That's that little disc that's like shiny. I can get about 12 or 18 shots out of this. If you don't have this in here, it'll just shoot all the air out on the first shot. So you need to have this in here. That's an extra, like, depending where you get it, it's an extra like $25, upwards of like 50 or 60. And I just have the normal valve pin in here. The paintball store near me, A&S Gear, they have the power kit for this, and all I use from the power kit is that CO2 restrictor. And yeah, I have like 3 of those kits, and I have discs for this and this and this and this and this. So I just pretty much swap in those little CO2 restrictor discs as I feel as needed. So this one, though, you do need that in there to use a 12-gram CO2 cartridge. And this hits, 20 to 18 joules depending on the weather. And yeah, it's a good little marker. You can reload it pretty quick. It's just as customizable as the HTP 50s, and it's also 50 caliber. This is the Umarex T4E TR68. This is a 68 caliber, just like the Burna SD and the Burna TCR and the Salt Supply S2. It has 5 rounds. This is modified also. The stock base version was 7.5 joules. I pulled a metal piece out of here. It's called a valve block or a valve restrictor. I pulled that out of here, and when you do that, it gets about 30 joules on the first shot, and then it goes to about 26 or 20, and then it goes lower and lower each time after that. I have the restrictor disc in this handle. It doesn't need it, but I have it in there. And with that disc, I'll get about 20 joules, and then 19, and then 18, and then 17 with each shot on a new CO2 cartridge. So it limits the power, but you have it's more stable. And this is really big. So this is obviously home defense, or just keep it by your bed or something. 68 caliber. It uses round balls and shaped ammo, so you can use MCS Devastators or First Strike rounds or BK Kinetics because they fit in this drum. Same deal with the TR50. I forgot to mention, you can use shaped ammo on this because it goes in the drum magazine. So yeah, you can stick Devastators or First Strike rounds, and they basically sort of over a longer distance, they're a little bit more accurate than just shooting a round ball that has no fins on the back of it to control the trajectory. It's kind of inconclusive. I mean, I've seen videos where it does actually make a difference, and I've seen other videos where it doesn't make a difference. But $100, $100. Sometimes they're 100, sometimes they're like 115. A lot more power than like the Burna SD. All these are pretty much more power than the Burna SD, but you do have to modify them. So if you feel like being like the modder, you're not shy with taking stuff apart, and you have grease and tools and oil and stuff, and like you've seen things on YouTube or whatever, these are easy to fix to make them high powered. And this is the HDB shotgun. It's from the same company, Umarex. It's a 68 caliber semi-automatic fed shotgun. It has this long tube thing on the side. It holds 16 rounds. You load ammo right there. I've shot nylon balls, aluminum balls, rubber balls. In my state, I can't use pepper balls, so I would use them, but I can't, not legally. And all these pretty much shoot the same thing: rubber, aluminum, steel, nylon, rubber, aluminum, steel, nylon, rubber, aluminum, pepper, like all these use pepper rounds if you want to. This is modified, so this is getting like 60 joules or 50 joules. Because it has such a long barrel, it helps it out a lot. I do not have a CO2 restrictor, that little disc in here. It is really powerful the way it is. I would not want to get hit by this at all. Because yeah, the way I have it set up right now, it gets about 53 joules or 55 joules. If I have a brand new CO2 tank and it's warm, and I have the airline attached to it and a giant like tank like this big running a line in this tank in my backpack or whatever, it'll get 60 joules sometimes. This is like I've seen it more recently for about $120, so it's not very much more expensive than these, but usually they're like $170 or like $200. I think Rockstar Tactical and one other website I've looked at, they have these for about $120. One issue I haven't had with mine, but I've seen other people have had this issue where the detent that holds the ball in the barrel, it gets weak, or it's like messed up. A detent is like a rubber piece. For this marker, it's about right here. You have to take it apart and put it in there or replace it or whatever. These ones had that issue also. I just got some PEX pipe, 1/2-inch PEX pipe, and I made new detents for these. So these don't have stock detents in them anymore. They're modified or like better. It just holds the ball in the barrel. But the original ones are really squishy rubber. Same with this. It's a really squishy rubber, kind of, it breaks easily. So East Coast Less Lethal, it's a YouTube channel. Greg, he sent me some new detents after I asked him, like, hey bro, can you hook me up with some detents? And he was cool and he sent me some. Big thanks to East Coast Less Lethal. So yeah, I have those. I have to install them still. I haven't had any issues with my stock ones, but I at least know that I have extra ones to put in here when the time comes when these go bad. The Tip-X, this is from Tipman. I have 2 of them. This is like a base model one, just normal out the box. This is what you get. You don't get this piece. This is a remote line adapter. You can stick an air tank onto this. It doesn't come with this. This is like $20 or $25. This holds 7 rounds with this magazine. It shoots 68 caliber paintballs or rubber rounds or nylon balls or aluminum balls or whatever. Uses a 12 gram CO2. It goes in the front right here. You can easily change the barrel. So this is an aftermarket barrel. I can use the Burna TCR barrel on this. So there's a lot of customization that you can do to this. This is one of the easier ones to customize and make it more powerful. Out the box, it's probably getting 10 to 12 joules, but all you have to do is turn that screw right here in the middle of the screen. And when you turn that screw, the valve, it's a regulator or velocity adjuster, velocity adjuster. When you turn that, you increase the power of this. So you can you can adjust this one. It's pretty big. This is the HDP 50. So as you can see, this is pretty much like a concealable sort of, minus this bumper. So it is a lot bigger. It's a lot bigger than the HDP 50. It's definitely bigger than the Burna SD. This is the Burna SD. It's a lot bigger than the Burna SD, but the power it's like 3 times stronger than this. So I've gotten up to like, with this barrel and a 12 gram CO2, I've gotten to about 30 joules, maybe like 28 on a warm day or like a normal type of temperature day. If you're using a normal Tip-X with this barrel and you have this velocity adjuster maxed out all the way, I can get probably 37 or like 38 joules with this. And these are more modifiable. They're a lot more simple to modify. You don't have to like really change too much stuff in them. You can do like PRV delete or regulator deleter kind of stuff to it, and you can change a valve in here to get an upgraded valve. And that's what this is in here. I have an upgraded TCR valve that allows more air to go through it. So I have to still check what this can hit, but I've seen videos where this with the barrel sort of similar to this and the TCR valve, which is inside here, can get 53 or 55 joules on like a normal temperature day with CO2 and stuff. I still have to try it myself, but I'm pretty happy with these. I played paintball in the past and I like paintball stuff, so I liken less lethal paintball markers. I kind of just lump them into the same thing, even though it's not like the correct way to go about it. But 12-gram CO2s are kind of like weird to me, like because I've used paintball guns and I have tanks and I have airlines and all that. Like that's more what I'm accustomed to. So when I have to use a 12-gram CO2, it's just kind of like it's a huge limiting factor in my view. But I know that a lot of people that only are familiar with less lethal pistols or shotguns or revolvers or whatever, they're more accustomed to 12-gram CO2s. They're not used to seeing giant tanks and stuff like that. But I'm like the complete opposite. I like big tanks and airlines and stuff like that because I know that it doesn't limit your power or how many shots you can fire and stuff like that, and you don't have decreasing power each shot because it's on a tank. And I know it's not probable or like it's not very practical to use a big tank in an airline and stuff, but just in my view, I like having tanks and lines and constant power over just relying on a 12-gram CO2 and limiting your shots and stuff. But it's I mean, there's give and takes. I know that if you want to be mobile, you need to use 12-gram CO2. But if you're at home, you can use a big tank and airline and, you know, get the job done with whatever you have. So these are usually they're about $250. They do have different it's called a barrel shroud. You can get different barrel shrouds for these. You can get different CO2 puncture caps, colors and stuff. You can change barrels. You can add a remote line to it. You can get different magazines. They have ones that this is a 12-round magazine. They have these other magazines that they hold 20 rounds, but you flip it over. So there's 10 rounds on one side, and when you flip it over, there's 10 rounds on that side, and you just shove it in there. So I think it's about this long. It's not as long as the like manufacturer's 12-round magazine. It's a little bit shorter, but you do have to pop it out and flip it over and stick it back in there. So you do get 20 rounds out of those. They're called Zeta mags. I think they're like $20 each or like $40 for two. These 12-round magazines, they're usually a 2-pack for $60. But yeah, this is they still make this. They still make parts for this. It's easier to, in my eyes, it's easier to power this up than a FSC, First Strike Compact. They don't like manufacture First Strike Compacts anymore. It's kind of hard to find bolts and replacement parts for the FSC. That's kind of why I stayed away from getting one of those or buying one and modding it myself, because I wanted to buy something that is still being manufactured. It's easy to find parts, etc., etc., and that's what this Tippmann Tipp-X is. This has been around since like 2008 or 2009, and it's pretty reliable so far. I've only blown the O-ring on this one because I had it turned up maxed out, and that just happens when you max stuff out. You're gonna blow O-rings and all that, so I like to keep them more like in the middle of their power range, or like 70%, 80% of their power range. So this one, the way it is with the TCR valve, I could probably get like 40 to 45 joules with this big barrel all the time, and with sort of minimal risk to breaking it or having issues happen. This one, the way it is stock like this, I could probably get 25 joules or like 22, running at about 80% power. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Like I said, I have BB guns and stuff, but as far as like 50 caliber and 68 caliber, less lethal launchers, this is what I got. Some stuff I don't have that I'm not sure if I would get it because the mods that you can do to them just kind of make them way too powerful. Is like the M17. It looks cool. The Vulcan M17. It looks cool. You can do a lot of stuff to it. It can hit upwards of 100 joules, so it'll blow this out of the water. But at 100 joules, you're probably gonna like seriously permanently hurt somebody or kill them. So I'm not trying to go that route. That's not what these are for. These are just to lay out a couple shots, escape if you can, get out of whatever situation you're in, and yeah, not like kill somebody. I have lethal firearms. I could do that if I want with those, but that's not the purpose of these. These are just to get away and not get some crazy lawsuits or whatever where you like lose your house, lose all your property, and whatever else can happen if you get sued from killing somebody in states that I live in, like California. It's just super seems like criminals have more legal they have a higher they have more laws for criminals than they do for law-abiding citizens out here in this state, it seems. So yeah, that's just a breakdown of all the like out the box less lethal launchers that you can use, and then stuff that requires modification but they're pretty powerful and they have different uses and different power ratings and stuff. So if you have any questions or whatever, just comments or send me an email. I have lots of videos on all these markers. I have videos with my BB guns, and yeah, this is getting kind of long, so have a good one, and see you next time.